Hey everyone, it's Ram here from COLOURLOCK, and today we've got this beautiful E38 BMW, but the steering wheel on this BMW has gone a bit shiny, and we're just going to show you how you can bring it all back to life, bring it back to its original condition, or very, very close to its original condition, using the COLOURLOCK Leather Steering Wheel kit. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're inside the car now, and as you can see, we've got the steering wheel right in front of us. Certain areas are, this part of the steering wheel is quite shiny, and that's primarily because it has a lot of dirt that we're going to clean, but we're also going to refresh the color slightly, which will give it that matte appearance again. You can notice that this half of the steering wheel is done, and we've just done that for the German version of our video, but I'm now going to finish off this end here and show you how to do it. So before we look inside the kit to see what products are included, let's start by prepping the surface first, and that is by masking off all these plastic areas to make sure that we don't get any product on there and cause any damage. So let's start by doing that. Right, so we've finished off masking the steering wheel. Now let's look at what comes inside the kit. So start with, we've got some sponges, we've got a sanding pad to sand rough areas, we've got a degreaser, which is very, very important, especially when you're doing the steering wheel kit. We've got a nice piece of cloth here, we've got some black leather fresh, which is our DIY one-part system of toning products. We've got some mild leather cleaner as well, which is very, very important. Some leather shield, and also an elephant leather preserver for certain older steering wheels. Right, so that's that. Now, in terms of starting with what we're going to start with, one of the first processes that we do would be to clean the steering wheel. So I'm going to grab the mild leather cleaner and one of the sponges from the pack in here, and the way to do that would be relatively straightforward. What you want to do is open the bottle, put the sponge right over it, get some product onto the sponge, and just try and squeeze the sponge a little bit so you generate some foam. Make sure you get some more product if you need to make sure that you've got enough to go through. Now this does look like a small bottle, but again, this will allow you to clean the steering wheel multiple times. I'm going to start from the top, and you'll see the color shift straight away. You'll see the shininess and the glossy appearance go away very, very quickly as you clean it. It just needs you give it a good few passes over it. So you try and get underneath the areas as well. Right, so once that is done, I'm going to put the sponge away. I'm going to grab the cloth that is included within the kit and just wipe all the residue of the cleaner out to make sure that we remove all of the dirt along with the residue from the cleaner. You don't necessarily have to leave the cleaner on there for a little while or anything. Just make sure you give it a good scrub with the sponge. And that's step one of cleaning done. Now, as we finish with that, the next step would be to grab the sanding pad. The sanding pad is fairly abrasive, but yet not too harsh. As with anything, you don't want to just start scrubbing too hard. Just scrub it gently. That should be enough in most cases. Right. What I'm trying to do is just get rid of the irregularities, trying to just key the surface a little bit so that it's ready to accept the paint layer that we're going to put on straight after this. As you sand, what you want to try and go for is a very smooth surface, which is what sanding gives. Right, so cleaning and just gently sanding it down, I can feel that the surface is nice and smooth already. I'm just checking for any areas that are particularly rough, where I can just sand it down again. But that is it really when it comes to sanding. Just a gentle sand, key the surface, get it all ready. And once you've done this, you can grab the degreaser called the leather cleaning spirit, which is only a surface degreaser, mind you, but it's good enough for what needs to be done here. Grab some cleaning spirits and just remove all the dust that is generated that's on the surface due to the sanding process that we did earlier. And you could be generous with the cleaning spirit, because not only does it remove the sand, the dust created by the sanding, but it also helps degrease the steering wheel, which is very, very important, given the colour layer that we're going to put on straight after. So right, now that the sanding process is done, I'm just going to check the surface once again, make sure it's nice and smooth, which it is. And after you've done that, the surface is now ready to apply a little bit of paint. This product here, which is the COLOURLOCK Leather Fresh, a 30 ml bottle of that in black colour is included within the kit. And this here is a one-part paint system, so you don't really need to apply anything else. As long as you've just cleaned and degreased and prepped the surface, that is more than enough. Give the bottle a real good shake before you start taking anything on. And in terms of applying, it comes with a sponge as well, so I'm just going to take some product onto the sponge here, and the way I'm going to apply is wipe the product onto the surface and then just gently dab over it. It's very important to make sure that you don't apply extremely thick layers of paint. It's best you apply just thin layers, multiple thin layers, and keep building it up as you go along. So I'm going to start from the top here. And then dab over it again. You can use the cleaner part of the sponge to remove any excess paint that you think you may have put on, but dabbing on top of the wiped area just gives it a small amount of texture, but also ensures that you can't see any of the marks caused by wiping the paint on the surface. And once you've done this, what you want to do is make sure that you dry every layer with a heat gun, if you've or a hairdryer if you've got handy. A fairly low setting, not too high. I'm going to keep it on this setting here, which is warm enough and not too high, and just dry that as we go along. Yeah, so this is just the second layer of paint that I'm applying, and I'm just dabbing the paint on the surface, on all the areas where I've wiped. Just building that second layer up, a very gentle second layer. Right, now you can obviously allow this paint to dry naturally, but you can certainly speed up the process using a heat gun or a hairdryer if you've got one at home. And it doesn't need a very high setting, so a very low setting, and just gently blow the hairdryer over it, and that should dry it, and you can then come back. So I'm just going to grab the hairdryer right here and dry the second layer of paint. So right, now I'm just going to touch the surface just for just to make sure there are no rough areas again. If there are, you can just grab the sanding pad, gently sand the surface again and reapply the paint. So anytime you sand, just bear in mind that you are going to create some of that dust, and you can just use the cleaning spirit to wipe all of that down again and then carry on applying the paint. But it's just about making sure after every layer of paint that you put on, you want to touch the surface, make sure that it still feels nice and smooth, and if it does feel rough, grab the sanding pad, touch it down a little bit, grab the cleaning spirit to clean off any dust generated by the sanding, and then just carry on building up layers of paint. So I've applied the front enough paint on the front part here. I think I've just got to shift to the side and the underside part of the steering wheel. That's where I'm going to move across to. So yeah, the same process again. As you can see, this is this sort of work involves having a little bit of patience, but that's that will be rewarded. You know, just being patient and applying multiple layers of multiple thin layers of paint instead of a very, very thick layer. It just helps give a very, very good feel to the product. As you've got that little bottle of paint inside the car, make sure you close the lid on it just to avoid any accidents, avoid spillage of paint in other parts of the car. That's the last thing you need. I don't know if you saw, but I dropped a little bit of cleaner earlier. Luckily that was just a cleaner. I've learnt my lesson, and I have made sure that the paint bottle is completely closed. So that's there, and I'm just applying the same onto this part here. The Leather Fresh bottle does come with a glove in there as well, which is handy if you don't want to get your hands dirty, or if you're worried about getting paint on your hands. Obviously we've been working with these products a while now, so we know that all these paints come off fairly easily because they're all water-based paints, and as long as you wash it straight after with a bit of soap, it'll all come off. So I haven't bothered using the glove, but there is one in there if you want to use it. Yeah, and then this I think is pretty much the last layer of paint. You want to make sure that you get paint in all the inner parts of the steering wheel as well, to get a nice uniform finish. And once this is done, we're going to carry on doing the same process. I'm going to grab that hairdryer again, and just dry this layer of paint that I've just put on. So here we go. Chilly afternoon here in Hamburg, so a little bit of that warm air on my face doesn't hurt at all. Dried. I've just found out a couple of other areas that need touching up, so just going to do that. Right, so I've put on about 2 to 3 layers of paint there, and this part of the steering wheel was already done, but here you can see that at the start of the video this whole part here was fairly shiny and glossy, whereas now after we've cleaned it, sanded it down, degreased it and applied those 2 or 3 layers of paint, it has gone nice and matte, which is the sort of look and feel you're looking for on the steering wheel. So that's what we've got. Now ideally you would be able to apply a suitable care product straight on, but because we've just applied a little bit of paint, it's best you wait today. But I am just going to run through those 2 care products that we include in the kit, so you know which ones to use. So one of the products is called the Leather Shield. Leather Shield is a product that prevents friction damage, but more importantly it leaves a matte look, so it doesn't apply or increase the gloss levels of a particular surface when applied, which is ideal for fairly new cars or brand new cars. So steering wheels in brand new cars generally have a matte appearance to them, so if that is what you've got, I'd recommend you use the Leather Shield. We also include a small tin of the Elephant Leather Preserver, which is a wax, and that's more suitable for semi-glossy or certain older cars which have a slightly shiny steering wheel. In this particular car, I think the Elephant would be a more appropriate product, which is what I am going to apply. So what you can do is just grab the cloth and just rub a tiny amount. You don't want to apply a lot. Remember, a little does go a long way when it comes to this. So I'm just going to apply a small portion of that. Again, remember, ideally you'd apply it a day later. This is just for demonstration purposes, and I'm just going to show you how to apply the products that are included in there. But if you've got it, or if you've ordered this product, just remember, apply any other care products a day later. That just allows the paint that we've put on to set completely. You can still use the car even without applying the care product. So if you wanted to go for a short drive or something, by all means you can use the car, but it's best you leave it overnight, let the product set, let the paint set, and then before you start using it the day after, apply these 2 care products, which will keep it looking good for a considerable length of time. So there you have it, guys. That's the full steering wheel that we've just restored using the COLOURLOCK Leather Steering Wheel kit. To run through the process very quickly, What we did was clean the seats using the sponge and the mild leather cleaner. We then sanded the steering wheel down to get a nice smooth surface. We used the leather cleaning spirit to remove all the dust created by sanding, and what the leather cleaning spirit does is also acts as a very good surface degreaser, so that has removed a lot of grease that was on the surface, which steering wheels obviously have quite a lot of, and that forms the prep process. So the masking, the cleaning, sanding, and using the cleaning spirit to remove all traces of grease on the surface or the dust created by sanding really helps prep the area for us. Once we've done that, we've then applied multiple layers of the Leather Fresh. Make sure that you apply thin layers and dry every layer with a heat gun or a hairdryer, whichever you've got. As you've done that, after that you're pretty much done. Leave it to set overnight. Apply the leather shield or the elephant leather preserver, whichever suits you best. Leather shield for a matte steering wheel, elephant leather preserver for a slightly shiny steering wheel, and that is it really. So yeah, we've gone through the whole process. I really hope you liked the video. If you've got any questions or comments or any feedback that you've got, please make sure you put them down in the comment section below, and we will try our best to get back to you and answer as quickly as possible. Yeah, and I look forward to hearing a lot about what you have to say. If you have used the product and have some reviews or feedback, make sure you put that down as well. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll look forward to catching you in the next video. Right, there you have it, guys. So just to summarize the entire steps that we've gone through. Step 1 is mask all the areas that need to be masked. Step 2, grab the mild leather cleaner and make sure you clean the steering wheel very well using the sponge that is included within the kit. Sand the leather down to make sure that you get a nice, soft, smooth feel on the steering wheel. Followed by using the cleaning spirit to remove any dust that is created by the sanding. But more importantly, to degrease the surface. Steering wheels have a lot of grease on the surface, and the cleaning spirit acts as a very good degreaser. Helps prep the area, which is a very important part of any process that involves painting. Once we've done that, we use the Leather Fresh, apply multiple layers of paint across the steering wheel. Wipe the product on, dab over it, use a heat gun or a hairdryer, whichever you're comfortable with. Dry every layer as you go along and build up layers. And once you've done that, apply the leather shield or the elephant leather preserver, again, whichever is suitable to you. Leather shield, remember, is for giving a matte look to the surface, whereas the elephant leather preserver gives a shinier look to it. This being sort of a semi-gloss look to it, we've opted for the elephant leather preserver. And you want to remember that any of the care products that you apply a day later minimum, just allowing the paint enough time to set and be on there before applying a care product. So done that, and that really brings us to the end of this video. I hope you really liked watching this. I look forward to hearing all the comments and feedback and suggestions that you have for us in the comment section below. If you've used this product, again, do let us know. And if you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section as well. We'd be more than happy to answer them. We try and get back to people usually within about 24 hours. So yeah, there you have it. I look forward to hearing more from you guys. But for now, there it is. Thank you very much. Cheers.